So I'll talk to you a little bit about how brewing works. Anyone here a home brewer? Anybody ever brewed before?
Soon.
Yeah? Alright, so correct me if I get anything wrong. We started the company about 3 years ago. We made our pale ale. Has everyone had our pale ale?
Yes.
That's the beer we made for a year. First, all we made. 100 batches to get it just right. And so that's our best seller. That's our flagship beer. And we're doing a bunch of other year-round beers now, which you guys may have had the rye. That's one of our new year-round beers.
Right here.
You like it?
There you go.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Our Belgian, which is in one of the conditioning tanks right now in the back, and our IPA, which is brand new, just coming out now, which is going to be on Monday. Brand new beer.
Fantastic.
I guess we gotta stop by.
Yeah.
So we talked about how brewing works. So this right here is a brew house. This process takes 6 to 8 hours. Basically what you do is we have a mill behind that first door right there. So we take the sacks of malt over to the mill, put it in, crushes it up, and then we put it through an auger, which brings it up to that grist case up there. That's a big steel thing hanging from the ceiling. That's where we hold all the malt until we're ready to brew. And what happens then? When we're ready, we bring it from the grist case down into the mash powder time. We spray it in, and we spray in hot water as well. And what's happening then is basically the hot water is mixing with the grain, turning those complex carbohydrates in the grain into sugars. Because later on the yeast is going to eat the sugar, it's going to make alcohol. So we're creating sugar now. Inside of that is basically a false bottom, it's basically a screen. And what happens then is once all the sugar, which is the right sugar level basically, we drop it through the screen and we get really sugary water. That's called wort. We bring that over into the brew kettle after that, bring it to a boil, and so we're boiling, it's getting sanitized, all the flavor compounds are changing, and then we're adding hops. You guys know what hops are? Those little green leaves, little flowers, yeah. All kinds of different hops at different acidity levels, they have different flavors, they have different aromas. There's different hops in all of our beers. In the pale, Cascade and Centennial, 2 hops from the West Coast. We add them at different points throughout the boil, and what that does is at different points throughout the boil, different acidity levels, different bitterness levels. So our pale is pretty bitter, it's about 50 IBUs, or 50 is the natural bitterness units, right? Bud is probably 7 or 8, right? So it's a big difference in styles, big difference in beer types. Sierra Nevada is about the same, a little bit less than ours, I think. Some beers are way more. Bitterness is basically hoppiness, kind of the same thing, right?
But the more hops, the more bitter it is.
More hops in this process, the more bitter it is. Hops also play another role. Small 2 or 20 barrels, big 2 or 40 barrels. The barrel is 2 kegs. We install all this stuff ourselves. We have plumbers do all the plumbing, but we brought all the tanks ourselves, installed them. The one on the far back right fell on me. I spent the night in the ER. That was not fun.
You live to tell about it.
Hey, yeah. But I saved money on hiring someone to do it. That takes about 5 to 7 days in fermentation. That's where the yeast is eating all that sugar, creating alcohol, creating some CO2. We then bring it forward to the fermentation tank, the conditioning tanks. It's actually the one on the right in front and the one on the way back. In those tanks, the flavors mature. It takes about 8 to 10 days. We add more hops then. When you add hops then, what it doesn't add bitterness, right? Because you're not boiling them, you're not changing the chemical composition. But it adds flavor, it adds aroma, right? So when you get a really hoppy beer on the nose, it's because they dry hop it conditioning. After that, it goes to the center tank, when it's kind of steaming right now. We force carbonation into it, so it carbonates the beer. And then we package it. We either peg it on that machine with the red lights, or we can right over here. That's the process.
And how many